This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here, no safe space. Now listen in, time to hear from some of the greats.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the War Report After Dark. Holy shit, do we have a lot to talk about. And for any of you jabronis that don't know what's playing right now, it's a nice little mashup between The Rock and Roman Reigns. And I gotta tell you, I'm so fucking pissed off right now that I feel like we just got to get right into it. It's horrible what's going on right now, and I'm going to lose my shit. So we're going to get a rant more than we've had in quite some time. I do want to go to some of the comments real quick before we get real into it. Just Patrick from TikTok. Excited, found you guys on TikTok. We appreciate you. I think I actually was going back and forth with you a little bit. So thank you for checking us out and being a part of the show. We got another Facebook user. Yeah, Facebook user. It's your bestie, Autumn. Oh, hey, Autumn. Welcome. And then, of course, how do we start without our good friend David Roscoe over at YouTube?
What's up, David?
Boys? What up, boys? When is Trish Stratus coming back? And then also Cody Rhodes versus The Rock versus Roman for the championship at Mania 40. All right, we'll get into that, David. I'm going to get some shit off my chest, and then we'll kind of dive into it.
Wait, Steve.
Yeah.
Let me get my popcorn. Hold on.
Please.
All right, got it. Go ahead.
Get your popcorn, your weed, whatever you need. See what I did there? Whatever you need. Just Patrick, did she get hurt or just take a break? If you're referring to Trish, I think she came, she did her thing, and she's taking a break, and who knows if she's going to come back. I have heard that a dream match of hers is still to wrestle with Sasha Banks. Whether or not that's ever going to happen or if Sasha's going to come back, because at this point, everything I'm hearing, she's going to AEW. Just Patrick also, yeah, we did. Excited to talk about the possible special referee thought. Yes, I'm going to bring you in for that. We'll dive in. But first, Vince, what's up, brother?
How's it going, guys?
Well,
What's
you're
up,
just
Vince?
in time.
Vince?
You're just in time because I'm about to lose my fucking shit. So,
He's
and
cooking.
I've
Why,
had
did
some
something-
people.
Did something happen, Steve?
Well, what do you want to talk about, Vince? Listen, here. All right. So I've been stewing for a few days, like to the point where I almost like hit everybody up and said, we need to have an emergency podcast immediately.
Wow. We
Because-
need to see how things shake out, Steve. Like you knew on a Friday, there was too much time between Friday and Monday.
Shake my fucking snake. Listen, I have a lot of people that have commented that said sometimes my language. Well, if language bothers you, this is not the show to listen to, especially tonight. Okay?
You sound like MJF.
Holy fuck. Listen, MJF ain't got shit on me right now. All right. Listen,
Yeah.
I fucking hate wrestling fans. I really do. I'm at that point where I fucking want to choke every single one of them. Listen to me, you fucking internet marks. It's very simple. The Rock versus Roman is bigger than any title. It is bigger than WrestleMania. It is bigger than anything. If you have an opportunity to pull the trigger, you fucking pull the trigger. Fuck Cody Rhodes. And I'm a fan of Cody. I like Cody.
I didn't think this is where you were going, Steve.
I want to see him. I want to see him.
I'll be honest with you. I thought you were going to be mad the other way.
Well, no, and I'll explain.
No.
Listen.
No, this guy, he's been asking for this shit for like 3 years now.
Listen.
Yeah, but I thought maybe with listen, Cody fans are an insane group of people, like the most toxic group of fans on the wrestling internet. So I thought, he was going to be one of these people that's like, Cody deserves his story. That's not even his; it's his dad's story.
I think Cody should finish his fucking story? I do. I do think he should finish his story, and I am a fan of Cody Rhodes. But what these fucking retards are not understanding is that it does not have to happen at WrestleMania. Why not be bigger? Listen, how many times have you heard Madison Square Garden dropped in the last 2 weeks? There's a reason Michael Cole keeps mentioning the Garden. You want to finish the story, finish it in Madison Square Garden where it started. It doesn't have to be WrestleMania.
Oh, is that because
you are going to get Cody to finish his story? I promise you, it is going to happen. But we now have a chance to see what quite possibly is the biggest match since Rock Hogan, because it's legendary. We have been waiting for this for fucking years. We're finally getting it, and now you have people saying Rocky sucks and we want Cody and boycotting WrestleMania. You can all go fuck yourselves. I'll take the huge. This is fucking huge. You should be happy. This is The Rock versus Roman. And here's the other thing. It's a distraction from the obvious. It's a distraction.
Yes.
Nobody's talking about Vince McMahon right now, are they? Only people are talking about, we want Cody to finish his story. We want Cody. We want Cody.
I'm glad somebody else caught on to this.
You're going to get Cody. It's a distraction. So how do you do it? There's none bigger than The Rock. I mean...
I don't know.
Learn how to read the room. Today is another one that's not the day. It bothers me. This is fucking huge. Cody, listen, they're going to do right by Cody. He's going to finish his story. I promise you. But here's one thing I do question. Mm-hmm. If you knew this was the direction you were going to go, then why have Cody win the Rumble in the first place? Would be my first.
Heard Triple H had no idea.
Second of all,
I don't think they knew. I think this is something that came across like, hey, I'm open.
I think it happened because of CM Punk. CM Punk,
that's a possibility.
Everything. So now they said, fuck it, let's pull the trigger. And also, The Rock being a year older is not a good thing. Do it when you can. You could do Cody whenever, but The Rock is limited time.
Do you think CM Punk was supposed to win the Rumble and then he tore his tricep and they've pivoted to Cody?
Well, see, that's the thing.
During the middle of the match, or you think
I think Cody was going to win it back to back.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. So before you get in, we have some comments I want to catch up on. Facebook user, hey, sorry I'm late. I'm going to assume Tara. Tara, welcome to the show, I'm guessing. Facebook user, and people need to pay attention. Cody said he's going to fight Roman, but not at WrestleMania. Right. It's going to happen. Maybe, I don't know when. I don't. There's still too many questions than answers. We looked like we were going to get possibly some hope of an answer on Monday. It got interrupted by McIntyre. Maybe we'll get it on Friday. Who the hell knows?
It'll be Thursday, dude. It's Thursday. There's a press conference on Thursday.
Right. Just Patrick over TikTok. Well, I don't know. Cody has done incredible things for pro wrestling in general. Just sucks to have had this in the oven and not to do it there. And why let him win the Rumble? That means he loses to Seth. You know what? Listen.
Why would he lose to Seth?
Right? Maybe not. Maybe. Listen. One thing he also did say that we have to remember. I want to take everything from you. That means I want to take the head of the table from you. That means I want all the belts. So what if he beats Seth Rollins, has a unification match, and wins the other title? So that could possibly happen. Also, CM Punk getting hurt definitely throws a wrench in things. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's what kind of spiraled everything out, and it was Tara. So
if Cody and Punk don't main event WrestleMania this year, somebody's going to have to check on Tony Khan's boner to see if it lasts more than 4 hours. Because like those guys, you know, I know Punk got fired, but like they ditched the company for supposed greener pastures, and one got immediately injured, as everybody called it. And now Cody, here's the thing. We kind of talked about this last week, and it's encompassing a couple things. There is a coup going on internally. This when TKO, the corporation, heard about this Vince McMahon rumor at the time, they decided to add Rock to the board as a positive thing, so that when Vince left, they could say, hey, we have The Rock. In exchange, The Rock got the trademark for his name, The Rock, back. In exchange, apparently that day between January 1st and January 3rd, TKO made a decision to grant Rock's request of the WrestleMania main event against Roman Reigns. Again, that doesn't discount Cody, but a lot of this does feel like a reaction to the Vince McMahon thing. And what I was saying last week was, because now we've learned more. We've learned that Brian Gewirtz, who used to work for WWE, specifically was the guy that The Rock chose his entire career to script out his promos and write them for him and take care of his storylines and work with Vince McMahon. He ends up working with The Rock in $7 Productions, which is the company that The Rock and his ex-wife have formed together, the production company. And he's been with them forever now. So he's back writing the storyline for TKO/WWE. I think there's a coup going on where The Rock wants to take over creative from Triple H and give it to Brian. That's just my theory. And the reason I say that is last week we had the whole show was about Vince McMahon's lawsuit. And one of the things I said was, how much does Triple H know and how much does HBK know? Because even if they know a sliver of it, that's enough in corporate America where these guys may not have done anything wrong. But they were part of
association.
Exactly. They were part of the regime. Start fresh. There's like, now fans are thinking, oh, maybe after WrestleMania, they just clean house. They get rid of all the old McMahon holdoffs, including Triple H, and they bring in a whole new team. I don't know. The other problem that's related to that is Cody Rhodes is notably the last big hire that Vince McMahon made before he quit the first time in 2022 when the allegations first came out. There's a whole documentary of Vince McMahon crying and whatever, talking about how great Dusty and Cody and all these guys are. And maybe somebody up higher up than Triple H in TKO is thinking, all they need to do is pull these clips from that Cody Rhodes documentary and show Vince McMahon talking all these nice things about our current champion. And they just optically don't want it to that it's a possibility. But I think that there's something going on here in corporation wide. There's so much going on here. It's not just a TV story. This is a business story.
I got to jump in. I will say this. There's no doubt in my mind that Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, I mean, these guys didn't know something. And I could be wrong. This is just, I mean, these are guys that were the closest to Vince during those eras. I don't think there's a conspiracy though with The Rock trying to get Triple H knocked off his current. I think that's going a little too conspiracy theory for me. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe it's just because I really am loving what Triple H is doing for the most part. And listen, this whole thing happening right now with the unknown, this could all be written and maybe something. Right. Listen, because this comment here, did Cody ever say that he was going after Rollins? He didn't.
Nobody said anything.
To say that.
Nobody
so we
said
still
anything.
Don't. Right. So we still don't have either of those belts confirmed as to.
Although, however, I did see something that popped up in one of these media things I follow on Facebook stating that is official that The Rock will be competing in the ring at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah, that's already locked in. That's been locked in, I guess, before the Rumble. So he's wrestling. This other person, again, we've already the only thing that was said out loud. Yeah, but this was the only thing that was said out loud on Friday. This was the only nobody said I'm challenging you and I accept. None
Well,
of
I
that.
think we
The
were
only-
about to get that before McIntyre fucked it up.
Maybe, but are they going to do a triple threat with those guys, or are they going to try and
I mean,
course correct and throw Cody back in the Reigns thing? Like,
Listen, it also does look like that's a possibility. It looks like, based on what we just saw, that there's definitely a chance of that happening. Just Patrick, are they trying to make SummerSlam as big as WrestleMania? I heard that rumor a few times. I mean, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard Survivor Series.
they always say that about
the big
SummerSlam,
four.
though. Right. It's
Big
one of the
thing.
big four, but it's hard. SummerSlam kind of is what it is. It is the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, I think. If am I correct? At least traditionally. Maybe not now, but back in the day. Maybe Money in the Bank might be more important because you get a title shot, but
I think back in the day, it was WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, like those were,
Rumble,
and then it was either SummerSlam or Survivor Series in terms of.
Right. But the next build, so the Royal Rumble builds to WrestleMania. The next big pay-per-view is, big pay-per-view traditionally is SummerSlam. So, maybe if they want a big main event, because didn't they have they had Cody Brock at SummerSlam last year? So, maybe you can bring it, you do it at SummerSlam, you make the challenge, now.
Listen, I've
don't
also
know.
been hearing this too. That another reason why maybe they decided to go this route and not pull the trigger with Cody yet is they want to try and recreate the Daniel Bryan movement with the "We Want Cody" movement, and it's going to get him so ultra babyface more than he already is that he'll never be able to do any wrong, and they'll push that movement. And I've also heard that The Rock may be behind that. So I don't know how true that is. Yeah, Cody Brock was pretty big. Yeah, it was.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and it's a shame we're not going to get Brock anymore. And there we go, David Roth. Gabby Douglas is coming back doing.
Really? I didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
That's great. All right.
Maybe she'll go to the Performance Center when she's done.
So, what are your guys' thoughts of this whole thing? I went on a long rant. I mean, Al, let's start with you. Like, what's your you agree with everything I'm saying, or
No, I think you're a total douche and you're completely wrong. No,
thank you.
thank you.
What if
Thank
Al
you.
said that and just logged off?
Yeah,
Like
right.
you
Can
dropped the
imagine?
mic?
I'm signing off, bitches. Click. No. I mean, look, I think you're 100% right. I truly believe that you at the end of the day, it is a business, and there is not a bigger draw than Wayne the Rock Johnson at the moment, and anything else. So the fact that you could capitalize on that, you have to move forward with it. I believe it. Overall, I believe, yes, it was last minute. Yes, I do believe Cody feels it, that he can't finish the story. But I do think there is a build into that, like you guys said before, trying to build that yes movement back to make him so over that when you give him the title, you don't get tired of him right away because he's the people's champ, So people are going to want him there. I believe
and
that.
what's like, what if he did, like, what if they pulled the trigger now? He finishes his story at Mania, then what? You know what I mean? At least
He's not finishing the story at Mania because he's finishing the
that's
story.
what I'm saying. But that's because they're not pulling the trigger. But
Right,
like, what if they
because,
did?
like, think
Then
about
what
it.
do you do?
He could get a title at Mania, but that's not finishing the story because he stated himself his story finishes through Roman.
Right.
So he has said that. So at the end of the day, you could put him over.
Well, through that belt, but
through that belt. Well, through Roman because he has the belt, right? So, and he's the one that eventually screwed him over a championship last year's WrestleMania. So the way I'm looking at it is you don't have to build it to a WrestleMania, especially now. Now they threw us the curveball, and now we want it so bad that now we have to wait an extra 6 months to wait till SummerSlam to have him dethrone him. And it makes sense because now you have a WrestleMania type match, main event in SummerSlam, which helps the product. It helps the pay-per-view overall to take a standard back as the second overall pay-per-view. And it's going to have the fans. Cody so over with the fans, it's going to be inevitable at that point. And I think it will be set up right. But to the main point, if Wayne The Rock Johnson is available to wrestle, I think outside of Jesus Christ himself main event in WrestleMania, nobody else should main event WrestleMania besides him, if that makes sense.
Mitch, what are your thoughts?
So with my vast knowledge of this past year since last WrestleMania, all I can say is I love The Rock from when I saw him back when I was like 10, and then I kind of got out of it for a little bit. And now that I'm back into it, Cody Rhodes kind of, I've seen him for a year. Apparently he's been doing this for 2 years. Finish your damn story, man. Everyone loves you. You're great, but finish it. But The Rock, he's a legend. Him versus Roman Reigns, it's going to be nuts. Like, I don't know why they were booing. I was confused being new to it. I was like, who the hell doesn't want to see The Rock? Like,
Everybody
man.
booing had a Cody Rhodes shirt on, I guarantee you.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, that The Rock's daughter had to she disabled her social media because
How fucked up is that?
she's been getting death threats. All right, let me just put this out there. I don't care who you cheer for, WWE, AEW, whatever. If you're getting to the extreme of sending messages to somebody that you don't know, threatening violence against them like that, you're fucking insane.
It's disgusting.
And I know it's not charges. Yeah, and I know it's not every wrestling fan, but it happens in different fandoms. I mean, there was that poor girl. What was that girl's name? She was like a singer, and like in 2016, she was on an autograph signing, and a guy who was obsessed with her came up and shot her. It was like Christine something. Like she was gonna be like big. Well, Selena's another one, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's every industry has these kind of like fans that go a little too far, and
they're called psychos.
Yeah, but it's just like, well, they get these parasocial relationships with the celebrities. They think they know them, and they think they know everything.
You remember that great movie?
Talking, we know everything.
You remember that great movie, The Fan, with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes?
Great movie.
Yeah, or the Cable Guy,
or the Cable Guy. Yeah, like these fanatics like that.
Yeah, it is. It's really effed up, Tara. I agree. Here's the funny thing about all of this. I know for a fact that some of these WWE fans that are upset about this Cody thing are the same ones that talk about AEW and how they don't appeal to mainstream fans and how wrestling is so niche and they need to do more stuff to get the outside world to pay attention to them. And then WWE does the exact thing they're talking about by trying to appeal to the casual fan, and now they're crying about it. So how does it feel? As somebody who really wanted to see AEW succeed, and they have been, but what I'm saying is, like, there was that period of like the last year or so where WWE fans are really hammering on AEW because like CM Punk left and all this other shit. Nothing makes me happier right now than CM Punk being injured and Cody Rhodes potentially not being at WrestleMania. That's just, I know it sounds petty, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like karma should exist in some way. And if all of these fans' negative karma for treating wrestlers so shitty for jumping to AEW from WWE is like get paid back by Cody and Punk not being at WrestleMania, sure, that's the way karma rolls out.
What do we do? I want to throw this out. So, Just Patrick commented on some of the TikTok videos that we put up from last week's show. So he had asked if we had heard of the theory someone had about a special referee match at WrestleMania 40. Basically, it's a bait and switch. The Rock convinces Roman to sign a contract he hasn't seen. It's a special referee match between him and Cody. Rock as the ref so that he can get his fair match against Roman. He mentioned being cheated, so this would be how he's guaranteed a fair match. I like the theory.
I've heard it a couple times.
But I don't.
The Rock give up the spotlight.
But I can't see The Rock not wrestling this at this Mania at this point. I think they're going full steam ahead with it now.
Yeah.
It's in Philly. It's home state.
And you know what? Roman only wrestles 10 or 11 times a year. He can wrestle two times in a weekend. And then
I will say it has been nice though. We've gotten Roman like a month.
Dude, he fucking went out there. He went out there on Friday night and torched Seth Rollins so bad. I don't know if Gilbert would want to challenge for that title at WrestleMania.
So bad.
I think if I was Seth, I would just give up that title. I would just be like, here, take, like, I'm vacating this title. It's worthless. Like, Roman just went out there and fucking ethered him. Like, that was dirt. Like, if that was
he
scripted,
called him the night before and said, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry, but I am going to roast you like a turkey."
I'm about to end this man's whole career. Yeah.
Yo,
He
that
ended the
shit,
story.
If you rob Rollins in the back, you're hearing this, you're like, dude, what the fuck?
Yo, what if he was sitting there just watching TV at home with him and Becky and the little kid are sitting there and they're all like, dude.
Yeah, right.
That
I'm
was
right
good.
here.
So he could still wrestle. Rock fights off Solo and Jimmy, so Cody can continue to fight Roman. I mean, I see that. I mean, I could see that. And I think too, like, I don't know what I think it really should be. It should be one of those tribal matches where you have the entire Samoan family that can still move ringside, sitting at a long table wrapped around the ring, whatever the fuck, maybe this is a great opportunity to bring in Jacob Fatu.
Yep.
Am I right? Because he's his contract is officially up from MLW and he is a free agent and he is an Uso. So a great way to have Roman win his usual way, but this time not Solo and somebody else. At least it brings in another Uso, or this one helps Rock win. I mean, listen, if this match happens, there is still a chance that The Rock could potentially have a month run if they wanted to. I mean,
No,
Jay gets his revenge in the bloodline and Roman.
Steve,
helping The Rock.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you what, brother. You like that bloodline with all the masses and the table so bad. I want to start a GoFundMe because if WWE don't pick this shit up, I want to bring these guys to your house. We're gonna get a tribal fucking table and we're gonna watch WrestleMania with these guys, bro.
That would be amazing.
You really, I really hope they at least thought about this because you've had this idea in your head for north of 2 years, and I think it's awesome.
2 years.
And the fact that one of those guys gets paid for this shit and doesn't think about that, it's insane.
And think about even somebody just like Rikishi, he can definitely still show up. Afasika, I know it might be a little bit harder, but
the fact they didn't use Rikishi in the
I'm shocked.
And the whole thing with the Usos against Roman is nuts to me.
Unless
the drama
they've been
in
waiting,
itself just talks for itself.
Unless they've been waiting for this moment,
But why? It's not his kids.
Well, it's still family though.
Yeah, but he should have been involved with his kids. I know I'm getting off topic, but that would have been fucking insane if he would have got involved and had one of those.
I think you gotta have
tribal chief for my kids kind of moment. You know what I'm saying?
True, but I mean, at this point too, at that tribal table, you could even throw Naya out there. Bring them all. Whoever the fuck is somewhere in that bloodline, fill it up.
Yeah.
Just Patrick, not saying it's going to happen by any means, but this could be a way to twist it back, then do tribal combat at Backlash as the main event. I mean, that's true. I don't know that they would do that kind of match at a Backlash, but maybe, you could still build on it too. But I think at this point they're pulling the trigger. I think it's a go. But we'll find out. Hopefully, we'll know Thursday. I mean, we'll see this press conference. I think it's 7 p.m. on Peacock. Eastern, so we could check it out. Tyra thinks that would be cool. Just Patrick, Rock wins and Bloodline starts to fall apart. I mean, what really would be cool if Rock won and he started he led the Bloodline would be great. But go ahead.
I have a Cody Rhodes type of question. What are you guys expecting out of this? Press conference on Thursday?
I think.
What are your predictions?
I think we're getting the official announcement that we're getting Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're getting whatever the official announcement is. I think it's happening on Thursday.
I mean, listen,
how many matches are we going to get announced Thursday? Because we just got one so far, right?
I think this
Bailey
might just be that. I think they're just going to talk about the matches that are already signed, which again, Bailey versus Io and Rhea. Oh, I don't think did they make.
They didn't. They could announce that. That could be what they're doing.
No, not
right.
I was saying Nia and Rhea said elimination.
And they may not. They may wait until after Elimination Chamber to make more announcements too, because obviously you don't. We got to get through Chamber first. So, so who the hell knows? I honestly think this press conference is going to be solely based on Rock Roman.
I was thinking that they would highlight. They would have Bailey and Io and Damage Control there, and do, like, because at the WrestleMania press conferences of the past, they've usually had a panel of like a handful of WWE superstars and then some executives there, and they make it like it's almost like a real press conference, but obviously it isn't. And then everybody kind of has their say. I remember one from the one where Triple H fought Cena, and they were there kind of like sitting in suits, and like they just talked about the main event matches, but it was a lot closer than February. So, but what I'm thinking is they might kind of open things up, highlighting the people that have won the Rumble and their choices they're making, and like, here's the match we've already signed. Let's get the thoughts from Bailey and EO, a silent contract, make it official, and then build. I don't know if you want to blow your load giving that away in the first 2 minutes of the press conference. You got to build to the.
Well, that's true. I mean, but we also don't know how long this press conference is going to be. It could be 20 minutes long. I mean, we don't know. Facebook, WWE wants to cater to the true wrestling fans. They have Cody finish the story at Survivor Series at MSG. I happen to agree. I mean, that's where the story started. That's where it should finish. You got Dusty. Was the
next big pay-per-view at Madison Square? Do we know?
Survivor Series is going to be at MSG
this year.
Anyone trying to go?
Yeah, I think we're going to get tickets for that.
Yeah,
that's not going to be Mania money. I don't need to eat a turkey.
I'm hoping it's not going to be Mania, dude.
I mean,
MSG.
Mania's not out the table, Steve. Play the pick 6 or whatever. We could always do it.
Listen,
I'm down.
If I play the pick 6, listen. If I play the pick 6 and I win, I'm taking everybody.
Go to a place. It's the Super Bowl's coming up on Sunday. Play DraftKings a little bit. See what you can do.
Oh,
right.
I do plan on investing a few shekels into DraftKings.
Oh, hey, by the way, if you want to bet any money, I'm putting it out there, and if you win, thank me later. McKinnon, number 1, the running back from Kansas City, just got put back on the active roster. I think he scored a touchdown in every Super Bowl.
He's a touchdown machine.
And his plus is going to be like plus freaking 1,800 to score a touchdown. He hasn't played in like 7 weeks. So that is the play of the week, guys. McKinnon.
You heard it here first. Al knows his shit.
Telling you.
I mean, that
Facebook,
sounds like a winner.
Rock better put Cody over for stepping aside, or he'll get buried on social media. I mean, yeah, I agree. And I think that's kind of already started. So,
yes, but here's the thing. A lot of people equate social media with real life. And I know people are booing in the arenas right now, like at NXT, every time they show the press conference thing, people are chanting, and we want Cody and all that shit. But here's the deal. When you boil down to it, Friday night, The Rock came back out and didn't say a fucking word. And his shirt is already number 1. He's the highest merch seller in WWE shop right now.
Who's this?
The Rock, and
of course.
Didn't say a word. He didn't say a word. So any kind of social media backlash, they still just made money on the fucking guy. So I feel like they might ride the wave because they're going to find something else to be outraged about next week. You know what I mean? Like there'll be some other minor controversy in wrestling land, and they'll all freak out about it and whatever.
But here's the thing, too. That just shows you how big this is. That you can have the two of them in the ring. They don't have to say a word. The crowd said it all. All they had to do was stare each other down for 2 minutes. And magic was made. And 24 hours later, you have these dildos fucking chanting, "We want Cody," and Rocky sucks. And,
they didn't even they didn't even give it time to breathe.
No. I hate him. I want to
we literally don't know. They haven't committed to anything. Friday and Monday, they intentionally didn't have anybody commit to any match. They're probably still thinking about it right now. Because I honestly, dude, I think there's an internal power struggle going on for this creative team, and I don't necessarily mean maybe not permanent, but at least right now, The Rock brought in a new writer that TKO approved, the board approved. Do you think Triple H approved that? You know what I mean? So I think there are things going on where, for example, The Rock signed to to go to WrestleMania for main event, but Triple H still had Cody win the Rumble because that's his plan. So maybe he's still trying to enforce his plan while The Rock, other people are trying to change the plan, and now we're going to try and meet in the middle somewhere.
We'll have to see. Just Patrick, off topic, but man, congrats to Bailey. Wish it could be a full-on main event, but knowing WWE, it just won't happen. Neither will Rhea or Becky.
I disagree about Rhea and Becky.
I was going to say I disagree. I think one of those two matches will main event night 1.
100%.
I do believe that. But yes, I do agree. I am so happy for Bailey. I like this turn. What developed on Monday, she spoke to Japanese. She said, basically, I know they turned. She was prepared. So we're going to have a face Bailey that we haven't had in a while. And now the stage is set. Bailey, Io, which should be a great match.
Will they keep Bailey this way, or are we going to see a character slight change?
Bro,
is the question
I think Bailey's current gimmick is so good that she can keep it and be face. Like she can, I don't think she has to tweak anything. I could say this: she's definitely not going back to the blow up things and the.
I was just gonna say I'm expecting about 100 of those on the stage at WrestleMania this year.
Oh my god! I hope she doesn't go back to that shit.
Not going back to the whole gimmick, but having that as part of her, like.
Somebody actually put out there Izzy might accompany her at Mania or something.
That's what, Izzy wants to accompany her, which would be cool. I just listen, it's WrestleMania, and I know it's not her current gimmick, but it would be a nice homage to her NXT days and her early WWE days to have those things pop up at least a little bit. Because the last time we saw him, she hit him with an axe.
Yeah,
and chopped him down.
Just Patrick, it's just like Rhea versus Flair last year. It was the best match, in my opinion, hands down. I mean, that's definitely. That can definitely be talked about. I mean, that was a great match. It really was. And look at what happened. Rhea's had it for a whole year, and she's bigger than ever. I mean, she's a heel, and yet she's the most over woman in the locker room right now. Just Patrick, they killed the storytelling. It was great. Yeah, I agree. Also, she's over right now. She can stay the way she is. It's just working, and Bailey knows it. I happen to agree with all that. And then
I have a question. Let David Roscoe speak first.
Yeah, we got David Roscoe, who is in the Women's Elimination Chamber to face Rhea Ripley at Mania. I don't
Liv
think
Morgan
that yet.
There's just one. Yeah, Liv Morgan's. They're doing qualifying matches, right?
Yeah, because she's going to beat the shit out of shit-stained Starks, and she'll qualify.
Agreed.
Yeah, right.
Well, you got to leave a spot for R-Truth. Keep that in mind.
What?
That would be the best.
You got to leave a spot for R-Truth in the Elimination Chamber.
For the women.
He'll
Is
show
Bianca
up.
Belair in the Women's Elimination Chamber? She's not. I don't think anyone's in it yet, but I think she will be.
Oh, Becky won and is qualified. Thank you, Patrick. So Becky won and qualified. Yeah, Liv is facing Starks. They're doing it weekly. If I had to guess, Bianca is.
Oh, right. Becky did.
Yeah, Bianca's definitely in there. Dakota still injured.
Well, I heard she was actually cleared, but what's interesting is she's been coming down ringside, and yet she wasn't there during this whole thing.
Maybe she's the one she sides with.
Is Dakota going to side with Bailey, or is she going to go with
Old Bailey didn't suck. Old Bailey was a hugger. She was for the children.
Yeah, she was great.
It got really, really, really old.
Is anyone surprised
that
sitting on this show that David wants Bianca to win the Women's Elimination Chamber?
Well, listen, the other guest was Nadia Comaneci coming back and making a wrestling debut at 68 years old and winning it. So,
listen, I think you're getting Jade versus Bianca at Mania. I don't think either of them are going to be wrestling for the belt. I think that's your money match.
What if we get Jade versus Tamina?
Tamina retired officially.
Oh wait, no, Nia. Because she did the slam in the Rumble. That's what I meant to say. Because she did the slam in the Rumble.
I wish you all the best.
Steve, not to harp on this fucking Rock Cody Rhodes thing, but I remember a match several years ago that nobody can talk about anymore because one of the guys murdered his family and then himself. But wasn't there? Oh no, this is a different triple. There was a triple threat match several years ago. You're gonna have to help me out because this was 20 years ago, and I just smoked. Triple threat match. The Intercontinental title and the World title were on the line. The first fall was for the Intercontinental title. The second fall is for the World title. What if in this match for WrestleMania Night 2, Sunday night, Cody triple threat match, Cody Rhodes, The Rock, Roman Reigns. The first fall is for the head of the table, and the second fall is for the world title. And The Rock wins the first one and gets the big red necklace, and then Cody wins the second one and wins the belt. And then at the end, you have Eddie and Benoit, but instead of Eddie and Benoit, it's The Rock with his fucking necklace, and then Cody with the world title.
And they take everything away from.
I'm taking everything away from you.
That would be awesome.
When Damian Priest takes everything away from Cody.
Hire this man.
See, it's simple shit, dude. Wrestling's not hard. You just have to think about it in I don't know. You need to I think people zoom in too much. They're very hyper focused. You just zoom out a little bit, you see other options. That would be because what could happen is The Rock could roll up Cody Rhodes and pin him in the first fall. And then you go, ooh, the two baby faces just, and then for in between the second fall, Roman takes a break and The Rock fights Cody for a little while because he just pinned him. And then Cody hits the crossroads on The Rock. Rock rolls out of the ring. Roman comes back in. He starts fighting Cody. The Rock's outside selling like he's hurt because he just got hit with the crossroads. Roman Reigns does all of his usual stuff. He looks like he's going to set up for whatever. Solo Sikoa comes out. The Rock pops up like he does the kip up just in time. Hits Solo Sikoa with the rock bottom. Cody dodges a Superman punch. Crossroads pin him. There's your fucking match. It's simple shit, folks. This is it. That's the solution. That's
Just Patrick likes your idea. Says it's a great idea. Honestly, Vince would be interesting way to do it. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. I that's a great call. I got to shift away from Cody Rock for a minute.
Yeah. We got other shit.
There's something else that really pisses me off, and
we're getting two in a week. Steve? We're getting two in 1 week.
I'm so tired of being pissed off.
How's your blood pressure?
Yeah, man, seriously.
I'm gonna be in the hospital probably by 11. Oh, fucking Christ! It does grind my gears out. You know what it is?
Speak to me.
We had Shinsuke lose again to Cody Rhodes, and here's the thing. They had a bull rope match, which good old Michael Cole made it a point to say we haven't seen one in so long. First of all, they did this match at Madison Square Garden during one of the tours, so it already has done, and it's been done. They said it hadn't been done since his father's match with
JBL had one like 15 years ago. What are we talking about?
First of all, misinformation. They're saying this was the same bell that Dusty used. Also, okay, I'm not going to go into checking. Fine.
Right.
And please correct me if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. Isn't the rule of a bull rope match
to touch our corner
that there is no pinfall, there is no submission, you touch every post, and when you touch the fourth one without interruption, you win. And yet this was a fucking pinfall, so it's not a bull rope match.
I was so confused watching last night, and I had that question. I'm glad you cleared it up.
It's not a bull rope match.
No.
It was an ODQ match. Fucking A.
The thing about bull rope matches is the reason you do a gimmick match where the match ends without a pinfall is that so somebody can lose without taking a clean pin. Even like those the last man standing matches where somebody gets duct taped to the bottom rope and they can't stand up. It's a shortcut. The other person wins and they're like, hey, I won. But realistically, they didn't get a clean victory on it. You know what I mean? So there's always some kind of question mark. This was tailor-made for Cody to take a loss to build, like, he's won so many matches in the last 2 years. He's not faced any adversity. If he just goes into WrestleMania and beats Roman Reigns clean, what's going to happen? Because he's defending the title. Right, but so here's what's going to happen. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Mitch. When somebody wins the world title, all of a sudden their power level goes down, and they're very, very vulnerable. And then they end up being jumped every week and attacked and losing matches due to interference. And so Cody, who hasn't lost a match pretty much in 2 years, is going to start losing an awful lot before these pay-per-views. And it's
not only has Cody not lost, but Cody apparently is now immune to the poison mist.
But here's my point, Steve. There was an out for them to give Cody this loss if it was a bull rope match, because you're right. All he has to do is mist Cody. Cody can't see. Shinsuke runs around, hits all four corners, and Bob's your uncle. We're done.
They didn't even attempt to touch a post. It was always pinfall. It's not a bull rope match.
Then it's not right.
Just Patrick, might be a hot take, but I think Michael Cole has lost it over the years. His technical approach is kind of lackluster, and he gives away the winner almost every match. I don't disagree, but I think the saving grace is that McAfee is back, and McAfee brings something
he's
out of
great.
Cole,
Right.
that the two of them, I think it works. And God bless the return of McAfee, because he is my spirit animal. He is just fucking great.
Well, it's like Michael Cole and Taz back in the day. They were good together. McAfee and Cole are good together. Cole's like a good broadcaster, but I agree. There's some stuff that he was rough when he first started, and then he settled it. He really settled in and has been great for a while. And then, now he's kind of, I don't know. He's a little corny.
You know what I was just thinking? Just out of nowhere. I don't know why. Like, if I had two people outside of like sports, outside of wrestling, to do like a broadcasting, I would love to see Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith doing a wrestling match. That'll be fucking great.
Be epic.
Stephen A. Skip Bayless would be the heel, of course. He'll be the guy always siding with the bad guy. Be fucking awesome.
I would like it if they, all of a sudden they're like, that's Shannon Sharp's music, and he's like, Skip.
I want just in the ring, Skip.
Just Patrick, it's just frustrating. The ref is on the 2 count, and Cole is already saying they won. You know what? Listen, I can understand where he's coming from with this comment, because I remember back in the day when Vince McMahon was on commentary.
I was just gonna say that it's the Vince McMahon school of commentary.
It drove me fucking crazy. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, it's just a 2 count. Like, it drove me fucking nuts
on every one,
every time. So I get where he's coming from. It is frustrating, but again, with McAfee there, I think it's going to get a little better. Tyra agrees McAfee rocks.
There is a really mad, bald Jewish man in North Carolina named Eric who is hearing all of us heap praise on Pat McAfee, and his head is turning red as a tomato because
it is mind-blowing to me that after all this time he hasn't gotten behind him.
The guy's a wrestling fan. That's like if one of us got that job.
And he's like a legitimate wrestling
Vince
fan.
And Steve Allen deserve it.
It's mind blowing. Listen, everyone's entitled to who they like, who they don't like. God bless them, but I just don't get it.
My favorite thing is you could tell Pat McAfee had legitimately never seen Jordan Grace before in his life before that day, because he just the whole time he's like, "Holy shit, look at her! She's yoked, man. Oh my god!"
What did she say? I think he said she's got muscles coming out of places that most people don't have places, or something like
that.
And I mean, she's
impressive, man.
In great shape. She was in great shape, and now she's just in like a whole other level of like, whatever horse tranquilizers or whatever she's on. I mean, good for her.
Whatever she wants, I want too.
Dude, I'm thinking about. I turned 37 over the weekend.
You don't need it,
and
happy birthday.
Thank you. I think I want to do one more run. I think I wanted to go to the doctor. I want to go get tea, and I want to go get tea replacement, and I want to go get that all that other stuff, diabinol or whatever it is, and just get real gassed up. Just one last run before I turn 40. Just get jacked up, and then
at 40, are you getting a tummy tuck?
Dude, I would need more than a tuck, man.
That's funny.
I need to roll it up like a goddamn sleeping bag. Anyway,
we've had a lot of ranting. I feel a little bit better now that I got that all off my chest. We are getting close to the top of the hour. What else did we want to talk about? Tyra says, "I'm sorry, Eric, but I love him. And do you remember how I couldn't stand him in NXT?"
I have something I want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. What do you want?
Damn you, Steve.
Gunther and Jey Uso, baby.
Yes, that was great.
Is he the guy?
Excited.
Is he going to be the guy?
No.
He could be.
I think if they set it up for Elimination Chamber, he won't be the guy. If it's a WrestleMania match, he might be the guy.
I still think in my head, I'm thinking both Usos are in the Elimination Chamber and they're going to cost each other. Like, that's how I still am convinced in my head we're getting Us versus Us at Mania. And a good way to get that going is started at the Elimination Chamber.
That's a fair point. I mean, we've been on that wagon pretty
We've
much
been saying it
or
for
half the year.
Yeah.
But
Started
this
with the
screwball
Rumble.
got thrown at me, and I'm like, I mean, because I don't. Do you really want to have Jay face Gunther and lose at Elimination Chamber and go with that? You know, going into Mania that way.
Right.
I don't know if I want him losing to Gunther.
But
And
the thing is, if you lose to Gunther, did you really? I mean, everybody loses to Gunther. Look at the guy. It doesn't really
yeah,
hurt you to lose to a guy like that.
but, well. We said that about Shad Gable and what happened to Mr. Gable.
You know what?
And
You're right.
think about everybody. He kind of has the Roman Reign effect on you. You lose to him, you start from scratch. And everybody that's
You're not
lost to
wrong.
him, I don't even remember their names.
God damn, you know what, Al? You make a fine point.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Coming
that
from
is
you, I
nice.
take that.
I'm going through it in my head and I can't figure. I
can't name
somebody
nobody but
challenge
Shad Gable. I really can't.
The Miz had a couple matches with him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Bronson Reed.
There we go.
Just Patrick, Gunther's so good on the mic, in the ring, in my opinion, and to see the two of them go at it should be a ton of fun. I agree. I mean, they're both great on the mic. They're both great in the ring. Jay can sell like a motherfucker. Go ahead.
Can you do a triple threat with the both brothers and Gunther at WrestleMania?
Oh, that could be interesting.
Because the way it looks, it looks like
Bronson
LA
Reed.
Knight is looking to dethrone for the U.S. Championship at WrestleMania. That's what I hear the plan is, right? So they're finally going to give him a belt. Sami Zayn right now looks like he's trying to find himself, I guess. I don't
He's
know
trying
what
to
they're
find
doing
his
with
way
him.
into WrestleMania somehow.
They ended a fucking good thing with either Sammy and the Bloodline or Sammy and KO being together because both of those combinations are great.
Yep.
Maybe Sammy and Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens is facing Logan Paul at Elimination Chamber for the U.S. title. He's already lost by disqualification once because he pulled out brass knuckles or whatever it was.
Right.
I assume that means this match is going to be like no DQ or last man standing or something, where again, Logan Paul can get a non-clean win against Kevin Owens that technically lets him win the match, but saves face for Kevin Owens not having to take a clean pin from Logan Paul. That's what they're going to do. Maybe Kevin Owens losing to Logan Paul twice in a row, he lost himself, and Sammy lost himself, and they become a tag team again, and they go for the tag team titles. I know it would just be back to where they were last year, but what they did is they had all this fucking momentum, and then they traded one of them away to another brand.
Right.
The fuck? They fucked it all up after last WrestleMania. Between like April 14th and the end of May, they fucked everything up regarding Sammy, Kevin, even the Usos aren't. I mean, Jay's reinvented himself on Raw, thank God, but it's just like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this last year we've just been in a holding pattern since WrestleMania.
If you think about it, the only person that came out of that whole group, including Roman Reigns, on a scale like moving in a trajectory moving up, is Jay. Because even Roman is pretty stale himself. Jimmy, we don't know what's happening to Jimmy. Solo is like, I don't know why they're not using Solo. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's
he's next in line. Maybe he turns on Roman at one point.
Yeah, but that's nowhere near.
Which they have been
Roman
teasing
Reigns
for
has
a
a
while.
lunch line behind him for the belt right now, including a guy with a Money in the Bank thing, which we don't know which route he's going to go, but he has a Money in the Bank.
Well, I think the cash-in for Damian is going to happen on the Rollins side. I don't think it's going to happen on the Rollins side.
He's going to catch in on Cody?
That would be amazing.
That would be great.
God, wouldn't that be the
2
funniest
second
shit?
victory.
That
2
would be
seconds,
nuts.
baby.
The crowd may riot at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's
I would
Philly.
love that.
And people are talking about, remember 2015, The Rock and Roman Reigns were both booed at the end of the Royal Rumble that year because nobody wanted
When The
to
Rock
win
came in
logo.
for the save, too. Yeah.
And we had that iconic picture of The Rock pointing to him, and he's had that look on his face. People online are like, oh, man, Philly fans are going to be back at it again, just like in 2015. Reigns and Rock are both going to get booed out of the building. And I'm like,
dude, it's Philly. Like, that's a
Yeah.
tough crowd, man. That's like...
But at
They
the same
threw
time,
snowballs at Santa Claus, baby.
bro, it's The Rock coming out at WrestleMania, and he hasn't wrestled. This is the longest gap in his wrestling career.
Yeah.
I know everybody's cynical in Philly, and their sports teams let them down constantly, and there's a reason for them to be cynical, and it's cold and it's Philly. They're going to be mad anyway, but I think there's something about that WrestleMania magic. You're in a big stadium, and that the the pageantry of The Rock coming out at WrestleMania, I think is going to whatever happens to the lead up. I think the day of, when that music hits for The Rock, it's going to be a big fucking deal.
So I just came up with a scenario for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. What if history repeats itself when it comes to Seth Rollins? What if him and Cody are both beating the shit out of each other? There's a point in the match that they double clothesline and they're both on the ground, and Damon Sandow music comes out, and all of a sudden it becomes a triple threat. But Sandow doesn't win because Cody's still going to get his day. Or Sandow.
Are we talking about Priest?
I mean, Damian Priest, not Sandow. Damian
Dude,
Priest.
I was so hoping that you wanted Damian Sandow to come back out.
That would be great.
Recreate his old.
Well, the only
gimmick.
thing is he doesn't have a Money in the Bank, so I fucked that up. But Damian Priest comes out with the thing with the briefcase and makes it a triple threat, like he did to Brock and
you know what,
Roman.
Dude, I was thinking that because Seth is in the match. I was like, what if Damian comes out in the middle and makes it a triple threat? It would be very fitting for him to do it.
Of course.
On Seth. Yeah, I don't hate that either. I think you're at the point where you got to shit or get off the pot with this Damian Priest. He's a big boy. He's he's a star. You gave him the briefcase for a fucking reason. You need to execute the plan and get this guy over.
Right. Or take it off of him, like one or the other.
Do
Something's
something.
got to give.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to the top of the hour. I'm exhausted. Mitch, you got something?
I'm tired, Steve.
I just have one question.
Sure.
Yeah.
As a person who's never actually watched an Elimination Chamber, what would you guys recommend watching?
Ooh.
Well, definitely the first one.
The
ever.
very first. So
Yeah.
was it New Year's Revolution 2006?
God,
I think it is.
Memory.
Yeah, New Year's Revolution 2006. I think it was in Puerto Rico, and the main event was the first ever Elimination Chamber. Or no, wait, that's the one. That's not the first ever one. That's the one where John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber, and then something happens afterward that you need to see. So you need to watch that one.
Okay.
The first Elimination Chamber, I think, happened in 2002. Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels. Yeah,
I'll give you an answer.
But there's what the very whatever the very first one is, because that's like one of Shawn Michaels' big comeback matches. Like he had just started to wrestle again, and I think Triple H was in. I think that was a big Elimination Chamber. And then I'd have to look. We'll go through and look, because there's a couple where like Kofi does some big stuff. There are some big spots that happen in these matches. So,
even the ladies' Elimination Chamber, some of them are so good.
Like the first couple years that they did the women's Elimination Chamber, they're like, we haven't been able to do this before, and they went so hard. Oh my god, they'd have to. So you'll notice when you watch, they change the way the Elimination Chamber is constructed, because they used to have these metal grates on the outside of the ring, and everybody would get slammed on these metal grates and they'd have big horizontal bruises on their back the next day, and like they were all getting messed up by these. They had to change the outside of the ring. But for the first like 5-10 years of it, it was when somebody got messed up on the outside of the ring, you felt it. You're like, oh my God, they crashed and burned.
Oh, well, if you want to see something real good too, go watch some Hell in the Cell matches.
Yeah,
Hell in the Cell, especially the ones back in the day, bro. Those are like I think the first 5
ever.
or 6 in a row are all classics.
Yeah,
and then you got to watch the one Undertaker versus Mankind.
First one ever, right? Oh no, that's
was
the
the
one
second
that
one.
came out.
That's the second one. The first one was with Shawn Michaels, no?
Shawn
Well,
Michaels
that's the one
Undertaker.
Kane came out in, right?
Spoilers. No.
Don't.
Sorry.
Spoilers for a 30-year-old event. But yeah, when you're coming up on these pay-per-views, like when the next Hell in a Cell pay-per-view comes up, they're gonna have like compilations on Peacock and stuff. It'll be a good opportunity to go in and take a look at some of those old ones. Don't like burn out. There's so much content.
Yeah.
Just pick some, like if it's Elimination Chamber time, watch some chambers, and then like, kind of go from there. And as you go along in the year, you can kind of catch up with everything based on what pay-per-view is coming up next.
Yeah, for sure. Just Patrick, awesome pod, guys. Thanks for letting me chat. No, we appreciate you. Thanks for being a part of the show.
Yeah, man.
Anybody that you know that is a wrestling fan, tell them about the show. Have them come on. we address all the questions and comments, and we talk about it live on the air. So we appreciate your input, and thanks for becoming a fan. And keep an eye out for all the videos because there will be some more coming. I'm sure Vince will put something together good for the opening of the show for sure. But on that note, we're at the top of the hour.
Yeah,
Vince,
of course. And Eric, we're just busting balls about Pat McAfee, buddy. It's all good. We're just joking. We know you don't like it. It's a bit. It's just a bit for the show. Like it's a bit, radio bit. Like imagine you turn on the radio and it's like Howard Stern. It's a bit. We're good. So ready for the show. Oh, so David. Oh, David Rosca has made his official pick for the Super Bowl. The Chiefs. All right. Well, we'll see. I think this whole thing is set up for them to win. And what's his name to propose to Taylor Swift?
Kelsey. Yeah,
I've been telling everybody that, and I've given you credit, Vince, and everybody says the same shit I did. Holy shit, you're right,
dude. It's all set up, and you just know, MVP Travis Kelsey. He takes the little trophy. He gets down on one knee. He proposes, and then they play Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. Yeah, exactly. And it'll be like a movie, and there'll be confetti.
It's scripted.
It's wrestling, baby. It's all pro wrestling.
I'll tell you what, though, the funniest thing that I've seen on a meme based on the Super Bowl this week is saying, I don't know if you ever noticed, but the 49ers always come out with a big ass boombox, and they're always playing music. And you know that one song with Kanye West that he says he made that bitch famous, talking about Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
They were saying if they come out to that would be the craziest shit ever. That'd be great.
Oh my God, that really would be crazy. And David also thinks Pat Mahomes Super Bowl MVP. I think quarterback is always a good guess for Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah,
a tight end or a running back really has to have a good game to get considered, and defense would have to have an even better game to get considered. Yeah, guys. I mean, this is it. Thanks for dropping in. Let me just go through. Obviously, Eric commented, "We love you, Eric. Don't worry about it." We have some Facebook users. Oh, that's Autumn. Okay. And thank you, David and Patrick. Yeah, Patrick. So thanks for coming in, finding us from TikTok of all places. That's pretty cool. Come back, drop in anytime. And let me just see who else was in here. Of course, David was in here. Tara was in here. Thank you, Tara. A couple people who we don't have the access to their names. I assume it might be Kevin, because he drops in sometimes, or maybe it's Kat or her husband. So thank you guys everybody that commented. We got a lot of comments tonight from a lot of different people. Not that we don't get pretty consistent comments throughout the show, but I think this is a lot, man. This was probably the most we've had.
This was the most
in a while. So, and yeah, we love having it because then we get to see what you guys are thinking, and we're just not some dummies talking on microphones and saying the wrong things or misrepresenting what WWE fans or wrestling fans are feeling. So thank you for dropping in. We are here every Tuesday, 9 p.m. on Eastern time. We stream all over the place. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube live streaming, Twitter/X live stream, Twitch, and Steve's LinkedIn. The Facebook is Tag Me a Date. The YouTube is also Tag Me a Date. The Twitter is at Tag Me a Date as well. This is at Tag Me a Date, no spaces. Most of our social media is like that: Instagram, TikTok, etc. The only difference is Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/War Report. That's WARREPORT. If you're on YouTube for us, please hit subscribe and then hit the bell. You'll get notified when we go live or when we upload a video or a reel. And follow us on social media, spread the word. And, hopefully you guys come back next week. Maybe we have a few more friends in the chat. We love having everybody in here, especially. I thought it was the coolest thing last week when David didn't think Tara was around, and he's like, "Where's Tara?" And Tara's like, "I'm here." So like, David and Tara don't know each other. They live on completely opposite ends of the country, but they do know each other. And it was just from talking about wrestling in this chat. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. And we got a little community here. So if you guys want to, the more the merrier. And of course, just spread the word, and we'll be back. Subscribe on the podcast apps if you prefer an audio version. You can still go back and watch all the archives on YouTube and most of the archive on Twitch. But if you want the audio podcast, just go to Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whichever one you use. Type in the War Report Pro Wrestling Podcast, Tag Me a Date, whatever. You'll find us. There are a couple wrestling podcasts called the War Report, but we made sure that the graphic and then the written description next to our podcast name says Tag Me a Date, so it's us. And yeah, guys, that's it. We're going to be back live streaming next week, 9 p.m. Eastern time on a Tuesday. I hope you have a nice week. Enjoy it, everybody. And we're going to have Fallout. We're going to have so much Fallout, Steve. We're going to have a press conference, SmackDown, and Monday Night Raw, all on the road to WrestleMania. What do you think?
I think you better tune in next week because it's probably going to be very interesting.
I agree. Have a good one, everybody.
Deuces.